Hello, friend. Thank you so much for joining me over on YouTube. I just wanted to give you a quick heads up that the training that you're about to see was originally recorded via Facebook Live over on our Facebook page. If you like what you see and would like to learn more, make sure you join us over on Facebook for weekly tips and tricks to help you grow your direct sales business and work smarter, not harder.
So without further ado, let's dig in. All right, so how do you use a Facebook group to support your direct sales team? So first of all, if you have a virtual team, I would highly recommend that you have some sort of group where you can engage with them. They're already online. It's an easy thing to do to add in, but I know it can be super overwhelming when you're thinking about, okay, what do I post? How often do I post? Oh my gosh, I have to make graphics, I have to write captions. Wow. And then if you've been doing it for a while and you haven't been consistent, your team is probably not commenting, right? Or if you have a really small team, it feels a little hard. It feels like, oh, I just can't get this rolling, right? So first of all, let's talk about why we should use a Facebook group when you're dealing with, especially with a virtual team. And really any team, guys, if they're on Facebook, most people are, we need to have a Facebook group. So first of all, it's easy. People are already on the platform. You guys know how to set up groups. You know how to post. This is an easy way to communicate with your team and share fun stuff. It's also a great way to build community, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but it's a great way to build community because you follow each other's profiles, so they get to see your kids and your dogs and any other fun stuff that you've got going on in your family, which keeps them or in your life, which keeps them connected to you, which is really cool. So that's just kind of a side benefit. And it's again, they're already on Facebook, so I feel like this is just a simple way for people to connect and build that community. So you guys are already using it. So let's talk about how to use it a little more effectively. And for this one, you guys, I got super creative. I came up with six ways that you can support your team or with a Facebook group. And guess what? They all start with the letter C. I had no idea how I did that. I've never done that before, but that was kind of fun. Okay, so first way is community. We've kind of already talked about this, but when you're thinking about your team group, I don't want you to think about just training. Okay, just let me post a training, let me push them to sell, let me do like that is not what Facebook is based on, and it really shouldn't be what your team is completely based on, right? Or focused on. We need to focus on community because there are people within your team that are just there for the relationships. I know that might be hard to believe, but there are some people who are not there for the money. They are there because they need a community. They need a circle of friends. They need to expand who they talk to. They could be stay-at-home moms, they could be retirees, they could just be someone who's single and kind of lonely, or they just enjoy connecting with people, from all over the country. It doesn't matter what it is, but that is a way for your team group is an easy way for you to build community. And the way you do that is have some fun, have some shenanigans. Like my team, they're hilarious. And this totally kind of was driven by me, but we were crazy on the gifts, like crazy on the gifts. Like every answer, almost every answer was a gift in our team group. And it was a lot of fun. Or we would use those crazy stickers and fun stuff like that. So, or memes. So it was a fun place for people to go. It wasn't just all about training. So that's the first thing I would ask yourself is, am I doing things to build community or to build fun, have some shenanigans within your team group? Okay, that would be the first thing. Second thing it does is clarity. So we've got community and clarity. And what I mean by clarity is as a team and as you grow, in the beginning, it's a little bit harder, but as your team grows, there should be a real clarity around your goals as a team, not just individually, but as a team. There should be clarity around your mission. If you've got other things that you're supporting, like I don't know, the organizations, charity, things like that. Like we would have times during the year where we were really focused on, where our team group was really focused on raising money for charity, things like that. So what are you doing within your team group to provide clarity for your team about where you're headed? And so this could be as simple as you're putting your goals on your team cover. You're updating them consistently throughout the month. A lot of times when we think about goals, we'll put these goals out there and we throw the goals out and then we just put them on the banner and then we never actually update the team. Like we get them all excited about it and then we never actually keep them focused on it. So again, I want to provide that clarity of here's where we are, here's where we're going, and here's how much further we have to go with these goals. And let me say one thing about goals before we get off this one, okay? The goals should not be just about what you want as the leader. I mean, that should really drive it in the back of your head, but you also have to get your team to buy in. All right. So what I mean by that is they've got to feel like they're part of something bigger, that they're doing something more than just a team goal. Okay. Like they're doing something more than just selling stuff so you can keep your title, right? And if that's all we talk about, that's wrong. We need to say things like, how many more people can we serve? How many more people can we help, create an income that's powerful for their families? How much bigger can we go? Because that's huge, guys. When you can focus on something beyond just your title, beyond just hitting the next rank or hitting the next thing, this is really cool for people because they get to work together as a community. When you start to build that community and then you focus on that clarity, they start to almost move as one. Okay. And so I always joke, like, after we kind of nailed this down, and this took time, you guys, let me also say that it takes time. But once we had built that community within our team group, and then I really honed in on getting my team to suggest goals, and then we would work together to decide on those goals. It could be during a Facebook Live, it could be during a Zoom call, whatever it was. So we were together deciding on where we wanted to go. Meanwhile, in the back of my head, I knew where we were going. Okay. But I wanted their input. I wanted them to buy in. I kind of joked that we were so cohesive as a team that if you got in our way, you would just get run over. Like, I kind of joked that, like, I didn't feel like I could stop the train if I tried, because we were so focused and so we were working like such a well-oiled machine together. Okay. So community and clarity. The other one is competition. So some people may not agree with me on this one. And I know some of you come from backgrounds where you don't necessarily share those things, but guys, competition is powerful, especially for me. If you've got me on your team, I want to compete and I want to win. And I know that you've got other people on your team that are like that. So some of us thrive on the competition, which means don't be afraid to recognize your top sellers, your top recruiters, maybe your top engagers in your team group. We do this in our membership, or we have a Chatty Cathy Award, where the top person, and this is based on Facebook's insights, right? So I don't decide it, the Facebook does. And so basically it's the person who has commented, engaged, and kind of helped our community the most, right? So you could do something like that. So any way that you can create competition, healthy competition, and celebrate the wins, that is huge for your team, especially for the people who are competitive. It is not going to be for the people who are just there for the community, but we're taking care of them in that community aspect. Makes sense? If you build the right community, they're going to want to cheer them on anyway. So they're going to be excited for the people who are crushing it and who are, winning the competition, so to speak. Okay. And then you can do other competitions for, like I mentioned, there were months where we were heavily focused on fundraising. And so whoever raised the most funds, that was a competition. And so that's kind of a fun way to recognize people who are, it may not be your top sellers, but they really latch on to like a charitable organization or something like that. And maybe they win at that. Okay. So competition, make sure you got some form of healthy competition. All right. Celebration. So this is one I think most of us do a decent job on, but celebrating, the competition and the monthly recognition and stuff like that, that's great. But I'm talking about not just celebrating the top 5, the top 10, top 20, but how are we celebrating the small victories, right? So one thing I like to do in our Savvy Seller Squad in our membership, and one thing I did with my team, was just, what's your win? Like, what's your win for the week? It could be something as small as, oh my gosh, I finally got my party template done. And then celebrate that, like reply to the comments from your team. And it will take a little bit to, again, if you're changing things up, it's going to take a little bit to get your team engaged and get them moving. But once you do, it is powerful. So small wins, like who submitted their first party, who recruited their first team member, who, again, it could be small things, who had a personal best. Now, you may not be able to pull those stats and stuff easily, but you can let people toot their own horn, right? We can let people celebrate themselves and encourage that. It's not bragging. It is, oh my gosh, look at this cool thing that I did. I finally mastered, YouTube. I got some videos on YouTube. Oh my gosh, I went live and I didn't die. Like, what are those big and small celebrations that you can encourage within the group? And then that inspires other people, and everybody starts to cheer each other on. So celebrations are a big one. So you've got community, clarity around our goals, competition, healthy competition, and then celebration. And then another C is collaboration. So I think we as leaders, we can all admit that we don't know everything, right? And everybody on our team doesn't know everything either. So I love a sense of collaboration within a community. That means allowing your team members to guest coach and guest train, where if you've got a team member that is crushing it, maybe they're crushing it in host coaching, so their party average is through the roof, right? They might not be doing a lot of parties, but if their party average is really good, how can you bring them in and have them coach on host coaching? How can you have them do it? You can have them do a quick video or join you during your team time and do a quick training. Maybe they've tested out a new party format. Maybe they're rocking it on making party graphics. Whatever it is, how can you bring them in a sense of collaboration? Not that I want your team members training your team, because that's not their responsibility. Hear me on that. That is not their responsibility to train your team, but it is fun to have them collaborate, to have them come in and guest coach, to encourage that collaboration. And you can do posts throughout the month that do that too, that have people come in or encourage people to collaborate. Like, what's your favorite tip about this? What's your favorite trick about this? What are you finding that's working right now for this? So have them collaborate, because listen, everybody wants to toot their own horn. Everybody likes to talk about themselves. Am I right? So have them encourage people to share. And that could just be like a once a month post. And then the last C is coaching and training. Okay. This is an obvious one, but I think this is one that a lot of people miss. So we think that the mistake I see a lot of people make is just it's a constant push for sales instead of equipping. So you have your team, your team meeting once a month, and you're like, okay, I train them, but I feel like it's almost easier for people to digest. I love a monthly team meeting. I do. And I did those consistently. But I also think it's nice to trickle out little bits of information throughout the month. First of all, it gives people fresh perspective and fresh ideas all the time. But it also is a little less mental strain when we're thinking about our like digesting that information. So if you're asking me to sit down for an hour and learn, and you're going to teach me all the things, my brain hurts after that, right? But if I can also break that down or add in additional tips and tricks each week, for my team to slowly digest and to give them a little boost, like a little fresh creative perspective, that's really good. That could come from a weekly live, like a Tip Tuesday. That could come from, you could go find blog posts. You could find training that other people have done and share those. There's lots of different ways that you can do that. You can pre-record them and do it. Don't get fancy, guys. Don't get fancy. Don't get crazy. Don't overthink it. Anything that we can do to consistently give our team fresh perspective and give our team ideas, that's where that coaching and training comes in, okay? So we've got community, we've got clarity, we've got competition, celebration, collaboration, and coaching and training, okay? And I want to walk through another thing real quick before we wrap up. The biggest mistakes I see people make, and I kind of alluded to some of these, but the biggest mistakes I see people make with team groups. You guys ready for it? Number one is binge posting. This is right akin to binge posting and binge recruiting, right? So you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't posted in my team group in like a week. Let me go post like 17 things. Okay, guys. Okay, just like they can't digest everything that you present to them in an hour, they cannot digest 17 binge posts, okay, with training. So, schedule it out a little bit each day. I personally like to post each day in my team group. If I was traveling or something like that, I might scale the post back just so I didn't have to engage, and that's totally fine. But again, some consistent posts with a mix of community building, goals, a little competition, some celebrations, and then that coaching is really, or collaboration too, is really, really good. So just a little bit. And then on top of that, another mistake is not posting. Well, my team's not talking. Well, are you posting? Okay, are you posting? They're not going to just, until you build that community and you fix it, then they're not going to just randomly post. They don't feel like they should. So make it a place where they feel comfortable posting questions and posting wins and things like that. Another mistake I see people make is not really thinking through how you can serve all the different types of team members that you have. And that's why I kind of address that community, the competition, the collaboration, because different types of people will thrive on different types of things within a team group. So that community aspect, this may not be your top sellers because they're busy. Okay, I'll just be honest. I didn't really care about the community aspect of groups I was in. I don't need to go in there and engage. I wanted to be, I wanted the recognition. I want my name at the top. That was my deal. So I really want to know, what are the goals? Give me some clarity. Where are we headed? And then who do I need to beat? that was my goal. And then I would also share, in collaboration and stuff like that. So, but you also have to remember, you're not going to have all people who are competitive. You're going to have people who are just focused on community and just want to celebrate something small that they did, and that's beautiful. So thinking through how you can serve all the different types of people on your team, okay? And then the last thing is not including the fun, okay? I mean, I kind of alluded to that, but I really want to drive this home. Your team group should not be all work and no play. All right, you can do work with a fun twist. Like if we were doing, we would celebrate people who were at a certain level by the middle of the month, and we called it Green by 15. I'm sure some of you guys have heard me say that before, but it was all gifs or gifts, whichever way you want to say it. It was all gifts. So everybody, when I was like, who's already green? Everybody was like posting green gifts all over the place. It was nuts. When we did booking blitzes and things like that, it was all fun. We would do prizes and all sorts of good stuff. So again, you guys, don't forget the fun. Just take a little time to think it through, and you'll come up with your own system for keeping your team engaged, keeping them communicating with you, and really building this really cool community that they want to be a part of, and then they also want to bring other people to be a part of. Okay, I will see you guys next week for the next Work It Wednesday. Bye, friends.